Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to Relationship Rhetoric. I'm your host, unapologetically Angela. I hope this Tuesday is treating you wonderfully. Mine has been really, really good to me. Thank you so much for joining me. Today on the show, I have an amazing, I'm going to call her a creature, an amazing creature on the show. It is so interesting how I meet these people. Never knew her. I'd seen her post before, but she was at one of my events. And the outfit that she had on just caused such a ruckus. I was like, I need to figure out who who this woman is. And so as I delved deeper into who she was and what she did, I was so amazed because I felt like we were kindred spirits. You know, people have a tendency to think that people who are about healing, who are about spiritual work, shouldn't be or can't cross the line of also being very sexy and very sensual creatures. And that is such a misconception and such a taboo. And I think this young woman um, embodies all of that. So I'm really excited to hear about her journey, hear about her life, and hear about how she got on this path of healing, not only for us, but with herself. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited to chat it up with Mama T. Hello,
Hi.
hello,
It's so
hello.
great to see you.
It is wonderful to see you.
Yes.
So I had to give the background information because again, if you weren't there, you don't know. But it was just one simple piece of material that had everybody like, wait a minute. Wait
Yes, I
a
love to
minute.
see, I love to find like different pieces that represent me. And it
Mhm.
doesn't always have to be bold, but sometimes, you got to make it bold.
Absolutely.
And I was inspired by finding out that there was activities and places where we could thrive in and not feel like we had to, suppress ourselves. So, I was going all out that night.
And so I love that because it seems like people suppressing has just become the norm, and people are not knowing why they're depressed or why you're so anxious or why you're so upset. You got all this packed in your body. So that's why I was
Correct.
really, really excited of having an opportunity to talk to you. So give me a little background information about you. Who are you? How did you get, are you from Memphis?
You can say yes, I'm from Memphis.
Okay.
I went to middle school, high school in Memphis, but I am born in Peoria, Illinois. So I'm from Illinois actually.
Okay.
And so I just, I've been back and forth traveling and stuff like that. And I remember on my journey, I started when I moved to Atlanta, and this was like about 10 years ago.
Okay.
Now, honestly, for the spiritual side, I've always been thrown into the spiritual side, even when I was a child. Um, Instead of my parents and my family kind of like shunning that away, they kind of embraced it.
Oh,
So if
nice.
I would dream something and I would predict something, or if I saw a spirit or something, they would say, well, talk to it, tell it to leave you alone for now. Tell, like, so it wasn't really like a huge thing to me. I thought everyone experienced this situation like me.
Okay.
The older I got, I started to realize that I was a little bit different, and listening to certain spirits and just being able to tap into the magic of it all. I
Okay.
started working with the seven hermetic principles, and it was teaching me about mentalism.
Yeah.
And that's the number one thing that we need to learn. So while I was in Atlanta, I'm learning about mentalism. Mentalism is controlling our emotions, controlling our reactions, controlling what we say to ourselves. We've been taught for so long how to diminish what we
Mm.
want and to gaslight and to talk down on the things that we desire if it's different than society. So we end up creating this, behavior or this pattern that we don't even realize that we're creating. So we end up suppressing so much. And I realized that I was suppressing when I moved to Atlanta. And I was like, my daughter would ask me, like, are you going to date? Do you have friends? Is this going to happen? Is that, I was afraid to get myself out there again because I thought, all men are like this. And why are a dating scene like that? And then I had to really sit back and dig deep as to why all of these things was happening to me, and I was the common denominator.
Wow.
And I was like, okay. So it's not really me pointing the finger at everyone. It's pointing it right back at myself. I'm the common denominator. That's the reason why these relationships are not working. And that's via relationships, sexual or friendships, even professional. I was starting to notice that I was really on the defensive side, on that survival kind of like mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I learned, and I started learning like IFA and the Yoruba spiritual journey. And I had a few friends and priests who were able to help me kind of understand that journey. And before I got initiated, I was just like this free woman who was in the park, half naked in Atlanta, running up to people like, "Hey, how you doing? You look beautiful. I love your hair. Let's be friends." And they're just like, "Who this country girl? Like, what is going on? Who is she?" And they started teaching me about how every like spirit and pretty much our power was within us. And if we start learning this, then everything else on the outer world will start working for us. And soon as that started happening, I started learning about my sexuality even that much more. I started tapping into certain clubs and going to certain places to where I was interested. At one point, when you look at, let's say we look up porn, when I was younger, I was kind of embarrassed to let it's for anyone to know, that I was wanting to look porn up or wanting to be aroused. Well, what kind of porn do you look up? Oh, we shun away from that. We don't talk about the categories that we look at. Why is that? It's because, we feel some type of way that it may be a negative. When actuality is about that left side, that creative side, that feminine side. Sometimes it's chaos, sometimes it's sexual, but that creates life.
Right.
And
Right.
I had to start embracing that instead of, I guess, listening to what society would tell me, oh, that's a whorish thing to do, or this is a slut, or, they always would label someone because they had a free mind.
Mm.
So I had to start paying attention to how I worded things. I realized that one day when I was younger, even after I had my daughter, I couldn't even say the word pussy. I was like, oh, pussy, vagina. Why am I ashamed or shy to say that word when I carry it around my whole life?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had to sit back and think about that. Like, I'm raising a daughter. I need to like be able to tell her body parts and what's good and what's not, and to calm down and to not feel ashamed if you feel a certain type of way. We weren't taught that when we were growing up. It
Right.
was like hush hush, child stay in his place,
Right.
and that's it. You'll figure
Right.
that out by trial and error when you grow up, you know. And with this, I had to think about that. I'm like, I don't want to raise my child into a world where she learns through school or learns through a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
my spirituality started really, I guess, exploding and elevating when I stopped being so hard on myself and stopped being such a huge judge to myself. Like we could be our worst in our own like horrible critic, and
Absolutely.
it's terrible. I just hate to feel that all of my life, and I'm on my deathbed, and I always say, you know what, I wish I would have done these things. I
Yeah.
wish I could have experienced that. I never want that to happen. And I don't want my children to ever feel like that way either. I want us to be able to say that was my bucket list. I
Yeah.
saw that one day and I had an awesome time. Like I did it once, whoop, we're done now.
Right.
Like it
Right.
doesn't really have to be so dramatic like everyone is making it. So I think my spirituality really tapped into learning about our left side. A lot of people say that's like the dark magic, and the
Yeah.
right side is the light magic. So they kind of paint this picture of us women having to be docile, or spiritual
Mm-hmm.
people having to be this docile, namaste, love is life, how are you? And I'm like, wait a minute, is something wrong with me? Because I feel like I got a little Kylie in me too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
and if you want to go into the spiritual or religious way, even Jesus had to flip a table over once or twice.
Yes. Not just once or twice.
Twice.
Yes.
Why would you take that away from me?
Right.
And
Right.
I started paying attention to that. Even like Athena,
Mm-hmm.
they say Aphrodite, she's the goddess of love and she's the goddess of war. as
Correct.
well. But they've taken that completely out. It's like they've taken the power away and only given us alluring, you know, look. And it's not supposed
Mhm,
to be that way. I'm supposed
mhm.
to be able to say, all right, now you better watch out, and still give you a loving hug at the same time. And I
Absolutely.
think that's like important in magic and important in just women and people in general tapping into their sexuality, starting with the root chakra.
Absolutely.
You know, that root
Absolutely.
chakra will tell you everything because a lot of us suppress a lot of things growing up. If
Yeah.
a parent told you talk too much, guess what? I bet you say, I'm sorry. I'm talking too
Mhm.
much to somebody
Mhm. Mhm.
now. You know,
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
really subliminal and we really don't know it. But there's nothing wrong with that if we can find that through shadow work, find out what our triggers are, why we are picking the people that we're picking, why
Yeah.
we like what we like. It'll give you all of that. And then you can make the conscious decision on if I want to keep this pattern or not. Is it
Absolutely.
working for me or not? You know?
Absolutely.
So I
Absolutely.
always feel like mentalism, that seven hermetic principles is a matter of you controlling yourself. You can control your mental, you control your actions and your reactions. And that can be so tremendous in your journey. Instead of always thinking about being a victim or
Mm.
always thinking in the negative, control those reactions and see how far, you know what I'm saying, things can go if you actually gave stuff a chance.
Wow. And that's good and bad emotions.
Yes. Like
Yeah.
society nowadays has taught us to suppress those emotions, hide those emotions, numb those emotions. People you have a I was just telling my daughter, I was like, you have to pay attention to words and songs. That one song, the Keisha song, or do you love me not, or something like that. This man is literally talking about how he cannot get off of lean in a
Mm.
song. And because of the music and the beat is beautiful, everyone is out here like, oh, okay, he is it's crying for a call for help. He is an alcoholic. He
It's
is
an
a drug
alcoholic.
addict making songs to numb his emotions. And
Yeah.
we all dancing to it like, yeah, this is dope. And then when we start feeling those emotions, a lot of us can't handle it. That's where you get these depression and the suicide and this and that. I'm thinking to myself, my grandmother and my great great went through some shit.
That's right. That's right.
What I'm going through right now
It's nothing.
is nothing.
It's nothing. It's nothing.
Why am I acting like this? You know, like
Yeah.
we really have to start thinking that. Like it's okay to sit in yourself sometimes and be sad or be upset or be angry, as long as you don't stay in that space. But you gotta
Exactly.
feel it. So, you
Exactly.
know, it's sad that we don't have the joy of wanting to tap into our emotions anymore. Like
Wow.
it's just like microwavable society. Let's get it done. Quick, quick,
Mm.
quick, 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 quick.
Mhm. And that's with
Nobody is in the
everything.
moment, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So
Yeah.
talk about how you got involved in your sound work.
Well, I actually was, I have been in the band life, orchestra, symphony, all of that. I played the alto saxophone
Oh
and
wow.
the piano. So my uncle, he was in the band heavy. So I grew up in all of these, listening to certain octaves and understanding that jazz has like a B flat and it makes you feel some type of way. And then if I listen to like heavy metal, I feel like I really like kind of tapped into a lot of that stuff when I was growing up. And then in college, I was in theater and dance. So, you know, we had to really learn certain techniques, certain and different kinds of songs. Like it was so many things that was like mind blowing, especially when growing up in an urban area,
Yeah.
or all you heard was R&B, hip hop, and country music, and that was it. And you didn't know that it was so many things in between. And realizing that our chakras were connected to notes and beats.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
like if we say our sacral, that's that D and is kind of low, you know what I'm saying? Like that low beat tone, you start to feel it in your core,
Right.
especially when you hear certain songs that go into those different octaves. And then you go into megahertz. And megahertz are the same, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to sound therapy, when it comes to music. Let's say I want to go into 963 megahertz. And that's more of a repairing relationships, repairing things, and wanting to be close and connected. When you hear that, in a song, you feel that and you want to connect with
Mhm.
somebody. You want to
Mhm.
call somebody up, be like, I love you, man. You beautiful girl. And can we get together? And we don't even know, what these songs and octaves and megahertz, like how are they playing?
Yeah.
So I think it really helped when I learned that you can cleanse your chakras with just a beat. And
Mhm.
especially melanated people, I learned about us charging. We charge with everything that we do. We charge when we sleep. We
Mhm.
charge when we eat right. We charge when we go outside and get in the sun. We even charge when we dance. When we hear a certain beat in a drum, we charge. Like we can literally go outside barefoot in the ground and charge. And
Yeah.
a lot of people don't even know how beautiful that is
Right.
and how connected we are to everything, to the sound waves, to, the audio. Sometimes we hear something, we be like, did I just hear that? No. And we just second guess ourselves. And it's
Mhm.
like, what
Mhm.
you talking? You just heard, you heard that.
Mhm.
You saw that sign over there. You saw them numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like we are all connected. So we all have the same power. It's just a matter of certain people believing it and really willing to walk by that faith. It's
Mhm.
scary because what society has told us, oh, you listen to this. I remember growing up, my great great grandmother on my dad's side would be like, that's the devil.
Oh yeah.
You'd be like, you
Oh
heard
yeah.
something, that's the devil. Don't
Yeah.
do that. You
Yeah.
blowing that thing, don't that's you'd be like, dang, everything the devil. Like, what can I
Everything.
do?
Everything.
What can I do that is not the devil? Like
Yeah.
everything I do is the devil to you.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna be the devil's advocate, and I'm gonna start wondering why they say that's the devil.
Mhm.
Because it's something out of the norm,
Mhm.
something that our ancestors was told we can't do anymore. It's
Mhm.
the devil, it's evil, it's pagan. What do you mean? So I
Mhm.
started realizing that them African drum beats that we feel, and our, what I'm saying, the melanated people hear them songs and them beats, and as soon as you hear a beat, it don't matter what the words are, you
You
just
moving.
start
Yeah.
tapping in.
Yeah.
Even babies,
Yeah.
you got like a 9-month old, he's still on the beat too. Like we can't help it. So we charge, and it's important for us to listen to important things because nowadays they repeat stuff. If
Mhm.
you listen to in the songs, they repeat things. I remember one song when I was growing up. It was like, "Who you with? Who you with?" And I was like, "I don't want to hear it. They keep saying the same thing over and over again." And my mom was like, "It's kind of catchy." And now every song they repeating something
Yeah.
over and
Yeah.
over and over
Yeah.
again. When back in the day when we was on these records, carbonated you know what I'm saying, these records, we was on these CDs and DVDs, we didn't really have to repeat things because we felt it every time we heard
That's
something.
right. That's
We would
right.
hear something, it would take us right back to when we first heard it.
That's right.
Like that is still a connection between us. That's that analog world.
Mhm.
Now they done moved us over to the digital world. So now they have to repeat things to us to get it to stick. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, no new friends, no new friends. Now you're shutting yourself off. Now
Mhm.
you're talking about some no sleep. Now you don't even get any sleep. You can't talk to nobody. You can't sleep. You unhealthy. You're depressed because you bringing that into your world.
That's right.
So it's important that what, like they said even in the Bible, like he said, in the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was God, which means that the words that come out of our mouth are holy. So
That
we
is
need to
correct.
start paying attention to how we speak life into our world, into others.
That's right.
I tell people, if you say my back, don't come in here telling me that your back killing you now, because I'm gonna
Right.
go in. I'm gonna be like, oh, is it? How long do you have to live?
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
you say, "Oh, you sick?" No, I'm not. You ain't got to lie. You just say, "I'm getting better day by day."
That's
It's
right.
all about how we speak to
That's
ourselves and the
right.
sounds that come. It's like a
That's right.
ripple. So, it's like I tell people, you want to choose peace or chaos.
Mm.
You can choose peace, but just know you need to be prepared for both.
That's right. That's right.
So,
That's right. So when did you discover that, the knowledge that you were gaining with the wisdom and the understanding that you had the capability to help others or facilitate others to their own self-healing?
I think it was after I had my son. He is 4 now. I had horrible postpartum depression.
Oh.
And before then, it was me trying to empower women when I used to coach. I used to coach women in modeling and motivational, kind of like empowerment classes and stuff like that. But I never really tapped, all the way into what kind of problems were happening. So when I kind of shut myself off during postpartum depression, I realized that I was like kind of at a rock bottom
Mm.
and I didn't really know how to get myself. It was like, well, I don't want to do yoga. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I don't have the motivation, you know what I'm saying, to do anything. So how do I figure this out? So then I started researching on herbs that help with depression. I
Mhm.
started researching on certain things that, you know what I'm saying, that'll give me energy. Okay, let me go take this tea right quick and let me go, stir this up in some water and let me go drink some chlorophyll. Like I started like really paying attention to what was helping me. And during that journey, my mom, she ended up, I think past relationships in old school, you know how it is when it comes to a mother and a daughter relationship or just children and those parents, they grew up not really communicating with their kids. So this journey was kind of like me learning myself as well as making them and her understand that I can't live for them
Yeah.
and I can't live for everybody else. I can't jump up and go outside and say, I'm better right now. It doesn't work that way.
That's right.
I have
That's
to
right.
have time for myself. And so I started writing things down. And I realized that every time I made a better step, I felt amazing. And I would write it down, then I would say a little tidbit, and then 5 or 10 other people would be like, I'm going through the same thing. And I didn't think of it that way, but thank you so much. And I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, so I'm not alone here.
Mhm.
Let me start telling people how to do this. Oh, y'all worried about energy? Here, go do this, this, and that. Go stand out in the sun. Go drink some more water and chlorophyll. Go do that. Oh, you worried about libido? I got you. Go take some maca root. You know what I'm saying? Go eat a little bit of manuka honey and drink some coconut water. You back on your game. Oh, sea moss was just set it on top. You know what I'm saying? I was researching while I was down because I didn't know where to go and how to do it, and I started realizing that the empowerment of it all and a magic, the first step in magic is healing and healing
Mm.
self. And so I was literally healing myself month by month. You know what I'm saying? Every year. And I was like, I'm motivated now. I want to do this and I want to do that. And I want to empower women to be okay with their stretch marks, to be okay with I breastfed 2 children. I have no shame in how low my boobs hang. Do you
That's right.
understand? Like
That's right.
I tell people all the time, I don't care. This cellulite right here, keep everything warm. I'm not
That's it.
worried about,
Yes.
trying to fit something anymore
That's right.
when I was trying to at one point. That's why I was
Mhm.
depressed. And that's why I was down because I was like, well, they doing it and she doing it. And this is how they said this is supposed to be. So it's so many people out here walking around lost because
Mm.
they think that they're following what somebody else told them to do. It's like there's no blueprint in life. It's trial and error.
That's right.
So I tell women, I'm like, it's okay to be not okay sometimes.
Mm.
Sometimes you got to curse. Sometimes you got to scream. Stop sitting back thinking that you have to be this docile, always happy person. It is going to destroy you if
It's
you
going
suppress your emotions and your feelings. It doesn't do anything but create a disease physically down
That's
the
it.
line.
That's it.
And we don't want that.
That's it.
There's so many women out here with breast cancer right now because this right here, this throat chakra, this heart chakra right here, blocked,
Yeah.
all blocked. They're not receiving love. They're too afraid to even give love. And they be like, oh, this is too good to be true. I knew this was something. I knew he did. You just created that whole ripple of
It's,
chaos into
yeah.
your life when you could
Yeah.
have been like, I deserve this. All of the blockages,
Yeah.
us women don't know about a luminous deodorant
Yeah.
and letting your breasts, breathe without having bras on all the time.
Right.
Like we have to start paying attention to our bodies for real. And we don't, we're just on autopilot. And I
Mm.
realized that when I was in postpartum depression, that I was on autopilot for a while and I had to get out of it. And once I did that, I mean, I've been homeless before. I've been, trying to scrape, what I'm saying, with a child before. Like I've done those things, but I feel like this time, this postpartum depression was like, where did this come from?
Mm.
Why I got it? Well, I didn't even know. But then I realized 2 weeks from now, I ain't went outside. I haven't combed my hair. People like, are you good? Is everything all right? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm looking like, why y'all looking at me like that? And I didn't even notice, you know what I'm saying, what was going on until I sat back and was like, wow, okay, now I see what everybody is talking about. So either I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna stay in this state and be the victim, or I can step up to the plate, show my kids that it's okay to be sad sometimes and good. They need to see both. Mama is not a robot.
That's
Sometimes
right.
mama tired, sometimes mama cry, sometimes mama will fall and trip. But I guess what? I'm gonna get back up again and we're gonna try this all over. So I think that's what really like motivated me was like, it's time for me to start learning about my sexuality and stepping into things. When I was in Atlanta, I was doing dominatrix work. I was doing modeling. I cut all of that off. Like I just stopped. I'm just like, I don't want to do anything. What interests me?
Mm,
What interests me? Elevating. And then being able to say, instead of me wanting to be a dominatrix because of anger and that
mm.
survival mode energy, now I want to be a dominatrix so I can teach these men and women how to connect with their dominant and sub, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
side.
yeah, yeah,
Now they can find a duality instead of
yeah,
always being angry. And what
yeah,
can I get from this? Now is
right.
what can I give you? How
Yeah,
can we work this together?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I mean, because again, people are so stuck with being one way, and I just do not believe that that's natural. I
Right.
just don't believe that. I just
Life
don't.
isn't linear. Like we stick with one thing, like, oh, you have to be this, monogamous person, or you have to be heterosexual, you have to be this, you have to be that. I mean, like if we really, keep it fresh, like way, way, my researchers are saying that God is a goddess, you know what I'm saying? A woman, and a woman who had a beard. And the beard was like, I'm just doing this to show you that I can tap into my masculine and feminine side. I have no problems with that, so I can help both. You know what I'm saying? We all come from an image. So we don't
Mm,
even realize that. And it's like, we have to have a duality and be able to understand that it's okay for us to be fluid and not linear. I
yeah,
don't always have to stick to this plan. Okay, it didn't work out. Let me go over here. Let me try this out and see if I like this. I
right.
might like my toes tickled. I like to get my ass back. You
Yeah,
never know if
yeah.
you don't try it out,
That's
but you like, I don't know why they doing that. I don't know why they like those are the people who are suppressed. That misery loves company. I don't
and
like
eating chips at 12 o'clock in the morning. Anywho,
it. And don't drink water nasty.
uh,
Water is nasty.
girl,
Don't drink no water.
I don't even see how they existed.
There's
Okay,
some people out
so
there.
in this process, is this how the book came about, or the workbook came about, or was this later?
Yes. The
Okay.
workbook I learned about postpartum depression. I put in there. I put in trauma that people had been going through in their past. I even put, I talked about molestation. Like this book was really breaking down what our behaviors were. So one thing I put in there, I remember in my past was my father wasn't really around. So a lot of us think of that as a negative that's coming to us instead of saying maybe I dodged a bullet. You really
Mm,
never know. But back then I was like, well, if my father don't love me, how can another man love me? They not even my blood. So if my father don't care, then I know they ain't gonna care. So I'm
mm,
already on the defensive. So the people and the men that I pick, I'm automatically not even expecting them or giving them the chance to step up to the plate.
right,
I know you don't care. So
right.
let's just go ahead and do what, you know what I'm saying? But that was because of that defense mechanism I created when I was younger. The
Mm,
wall I built up. Well,
mhm,
if he didn't care, nobody else cares. So that means I ain't gonna care. So I ain't gotta put no effort into anything.
mm,
I can
mhm,
isolate myself. I can
mhm,
pick relationships that I know ain't gonna go nowhere. You know
mhm.
how we do that? We pick them that don't go nowhere, catch feelings, knowing it wasn't gonna go nowhere. It don't go nowhere. Then we cry about it like,
Right.
oh, I'm devastated.
No, not really. Yeah, but
No,
you
you
are
know you was
so
gonna
right.
do that,
You are
you
so
know.
right. You are
So
so
that's
right.
a trigger. That's a trauma and a
Yeah.
shadow work that a lot of people don't pay attention to. And then we realize, oh wow, I'm picking partners that I know ain't gonna go nowhere. So actuality ain't even their fault. It's mine. I'm wasting my time.
Mm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
wrong with me. So
Mm.
either I can sit back and keep wasting my time, or I can change these patterns up in these behaviors. When I started helping like friends and family, and they was just like, I see where the reason why, I can't trust men. Or I see why I don't really trust my family and I trust strangers, quicker than family. I see why now. So instead of me feeling like, oh, internalizing things, the reason why you acted the way you acted, now I can say, now I know why you acted that way. It had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with you and your journey and your traumas that you may not know how to express.
Mm.
So that's where we control our reactions. And
Yeah,
we be like, oh, instead of saying, well, F you and you a hater, and then you never know what's going on with them,
that's
you
right.
know? So this book is like an interactive, you can write in it, it's questions in there, it's a letter that you will write to yourself. Sometimes we got to forgive ourselves for the choices that we made when we were in survival mode.
That's right.
When we don't love ourselves, we make these choices. We sleep with tons of people and don't even care about the results. We've done it. We've all been there. We've been through it. There's no shame in it. We just need to grow from it. We can't
Mm.
stay in that stagnant stage and then expect, wonderful things to happen to you.
Mm.
That's like insanity, doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. Like, come on
Right,
now.
right, 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 right.
So I think with this book, it's a matter of them understanding that, yes, we got to take accountability. We are the common denominator, but you don't have to be so hard on yourself. Everybody fucks up. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like the only time you fail is when you stop, you give up, and you don't want to do it at all.
That's right. That's
So
right.
just keep going. You mess up, apologize. It's never too late.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Okay, so your workshops and your retreats. Yes, yes, yes. So
yeah.
are those exclusive? How do people find out about them?
Well, I usually announce my retreats and workshops. They usually are online. That's at my website, tchighvibes.com. Well, with the retreats, my whole focus was women. Now, a lot of men been trying to get in the mix, but my whole focus is getting women back to a level to where we trust each other again. We can talk to each other and heal each other, and help and create a tribe. Then we can build together.
Right.
So with these retreats, I bring in, I have tickets and the women can choose, and it's like a 4-day retreat, so they can spend the night. They will learn about shadow work. They will learn about healing themselves, fire ceremonies, meditation, sound therapy. I do Reiki. So we have and tarot. We do all kinds of little activities and stuff like that for them to kind of learn that they can do this on their own and they can tap into their own power. And then the additive of that is that I usually have my servants, and these are my men and women who wait on them hand and foot. So now you have your food is provided, your drinks are provided, whatever else, you know what I'm saying, that we give you is provided. The psychedelics are provided. You have servants there. You can get in the hot tub after you learn and you heal. You can relax. A lot of us don't have this at
Mhm.
all.
Right.
Just like give me 2 days just to lay and not do anything. A lot of us don't have that. So I wanted to create a space to where it's safe and we can enjoy ourselves. Half of the time we are naked and we're just dancing and like, wee, all right, okay. And we feel amazing afterwards.
Mhm.
Because a lot of us don't get that chance to actually be ourselves and be free in
Right.
a safe environment. So I wanted to create something like that. And with the workshops, it's more of teaching women, I think more about kind of empowering themselves again, taking that solar plexus, taking that power back, as well as that sacral chakra. Sometimes women are saying, well, I'm a dancer, but I'm afraid to dance in front of my guy. Like I can't do it. I understand, and then instead of me saying, girl, what's wrong with you? You know how most girls be, what's
Mhm.
wrong with you? You can do this and do that. So you can't do. I can understand that. You don't know them people. So you don't worry, you don't care about how they feel. Care about how they feel.
That's right.
So instead, let's come up with different routines and activities to get you comfortable.
Comfortable. Yeah.
Blindfold him first.
Yeah.
Play some music. Go in the dark first. Put a small little spotlight on you. Start off small, baby steps. And they like, dang, thank you so much. I didn't think about it that way. That's
Hmm.
all we have to do. instead of coming to me saying, what's wrong with me because he said this and he said, I said, that is a mental manipulator, honey. You don't need that in your life. That's somebody that's trying to keep you under their thumb. You was free bird at first, weren't you? Flying around free. Now you in a cage, worried about how you look, who you talk to, and what's happening and what they doing. You a caged bird. So I'm trying to help these women be free,
Yeah.
but not in a negative, defensive way. I want them to be able to say, we can come together, men and women. But the only time men and women can come together is when the women heal.
Mm.
We ran this. You know what I'm saying? Like Mother Earth, Mother Nature, that's us. Nothing will be here if we didn't have a portal to bring life into this world. So we got to start stepping up to the plate, as women, and stop letting, all of these people and these men dictate it and create this patriotic society. You can see it ain't working. It's time to come on back to the matriarch. You know what I'm saying? So if we tap into our woman, our power, our chaos, our creative side, our sexual side, without unapologetically, they can't stand Megan Thee Stallion right now. What? She twerking? Oh, I can't stand it. Wait a minute. She got a degree too? Oh, man. She know what she like anime? Oh shit. Okay, what else can we talk about negative about? You can't. You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
She's living her life unapologetically.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why she's elevating the way she is because she's not worried about what other people think.
Yeah.
That's what we stop seeking validation. Do what you want to do. Post what you want to post. You know what I'm saying? Within the guidelines of how you feel. Don't ever feel like something is going to diminish, you know what I'm saying, who you are. You have that power. Don't give anybody else that power.
So my last question, are you in a relationship? Relationships?
I'm in a relationship, yes.
Okay.
I have a partner, which was, a lot of people are like, how is she in? Like, she never would have done, like, I'm one of them lone rangers for a long time. But because I was able to heal and open up, I found somebody who is able and loving to want to wait on me hand and foot, who wants to help out, who wants to be that supportive and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I have someone I can be able to say, hey, you want to bring somebody else into the mix? Or you let's go on to this, you know what I'm saying, S&M party. Or you want to wear the leash today? All right. At one point, I couldn't do that. It was always a role, you know what I'm saying, like struggle. I'm the alpha. I can't do that. I couldn't at all. I couldn't stand that. It's like, okay, now, of men who say they're alpha, let me tell you a secret. You're not a real alpha. If you got to say it.
If you have to announce it. Yes, ma'am.
So this really caught me off guard, but it's like I have someone who we can be open and it can be like, oh, she's beautiful. Yeah, she is. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's beautiful. Yep. And we can enjoy ourselves and still have a good time. Cosplay, okay, let's do that. You want to lay around and be nudist? Okay. But I appreciate a partner who is able to not want something in return, but you want to give it to them because they there. So a lot of us need to have that luxury mode. I tell women all the time, if he's not giving you flowers, if he's not rubbing your feet, if he's not waiting on you hand and foot, then what is life? Because he knows that if he does that, he's going to get nurtured anyway. He's going to get nurtured too. And then some, you know what I'm saying? Create a whole generation for you. So they have to start thinking that, but women have to be like, I deserve this. Then that's when we get it.
That's right. So how can people find you?
Well, I mean, I'm everywhere. You can look up TC High Vibes. My name is Tanika Carter, but TC High Vibes, you can look it up. It is on Facebook. I have TC High Vibes on my Instagram. I also have it on TikTok, TC High Vibes. My website, tchighvibes.com. And I also have like a link tree that is on my Facebook page, on Instagram, on everything that breaks everything down. If you would like courses, I have courses that are available. They start at $5. I have the book that's available on Amazon, or you can buy it off of my website. I have products to build up libidos and sexual appetites. all the way down to protection, you know what I'm saying, oil. So I have a lot of different things that I try to have for everyone.
Okay.
So yeah, TC High Vibes, you can look it up and find me everywhere with that name.
And your products are not just for women, correct?
Correct. I do have products for men. My gloss, it is called Pussy Gloss. It is trademark, but the gloss is not just for the pussy. It could be for the penis as well. It can be topical on any part of your body, but it's like an organic mixture or magical mixture that I created that builds up libido and appetite. So it is you take it topically, you can put it on or you can put it on your tongue, and it will build up that libido and give you like a really big appetite. So that's for men. I have a few little products and stuff like that for men, but a lot of my things are definitely geared toward women. Now with my shadow work and stuff like that, that's for everyone. That's for men and women.
Okay. Okay. And you do also offer sound therapy, correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I offer sound therapy over the phone, and I also offer in person. And in about 2 weeks, I will be offering a opportunity for people to come to me in my Reiki station and my hot tent Reiki station, so where people can come and have sessions of Reiki. They can have sessions of audio. I've even had sessions of people that need venting. Sometimes people need hugs.
Yeah.
Sometimes people need to scream. Sometimes
Yeah.
people need to cry. So
Yeah.
I'm creating an environment to where it's safe enough for you to feel like you can release and still, feel charged and protected at the same time.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. I'm so grateful for this opportunity.
Thank you for this opportunity for
I
me to
just
speak.
knew you were overflowing with a wealth of information that we needed to hear. So I truly appreciate you. I cannot wait to participate in the next retreat. I am like sit on the edge of my seat waiting for the update. So
Yes, I'm
please
excited. I'm
keep us
excited. I'm
posted.
definitely going to let you all know soon. I am gearing for New Year's Eve. So let's keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're gonna bring that into fruition. That's gonna happen for us.
Yes, I say.
Thank you, love. I appreciate you so much.
Thank
Have a
you.
have a blissful week.
All right, you too, love.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, guys, I just love when we can be exposed to so much high energy and so much information. It makes me really happy when the focus is about healing. Everybody seems to think that people that are on a, journey to elevation, are unapproachable. This young lady has put her information out there and has made her information available for you to come and seek help. You got therapists, you got church members, you got this, you got that. You choose your path. You choose your path where you feel like you can get the best out of it. But all I ask of you is please, if you're hurting, if you're suppressing, if you're continuously anxious, if you're continuously depressed, seek help somewhere. There are people out here with the tools, with the training to help you heal. I love you. Have a wonderful week. Peace, love, and healing always.